All right. So Jeff Passan went on the Pat McAfee show. Was it today? If I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
Went on the Pat McAfee show today, and they were talking about Paul Skenes. Paul Skenes is a fan favorite on the Pat McAfee show. Obviously, he's a Yinzer now, and Pat is as well. So they just gushing all over Paul Skenes, and for good reason. But look, Jeff Passan came on the show and said, if you could have anyone to throw to Game 7 of the World Series right now, who would it be? And in regards to Jeff Passan, he says he's in the conversation for sure. So factor crap, gentlemen. Paul Skenes is good enough to trust in Game 7 of the World Series.
Yeah, that escalated quickly.
Yeah.
Escalated real quickly. That's like, in the movie that I'm talking about, Zach, Brad, I know you know what I'm talking about. And they're sitting there and there's that all-out brawl. I didn't want to say the title because the guy that's running the show right there has no idea.
I knew that they fought or that they fight. That's part of the movie I've seen. I just haven't seen the whole movie.
Name one part of that fight scene.
There are like superpowers going on.
Who has the grenade?
Not Will Ferrell.
Okay.
Superpowers going on?
Yeah, like there's all this like an airplane comes down, I think.
No, that's Anchorman 2.
Yeah, that's Anchorman 2.
Right.
Because that's when the ghost shows up as well. Was Anchorman 2.
I remember that. I remember that.
Okay.
Brick had the grenade, by the way.
Not Will Ferrell.
No. Brick, where'd you get that grenade?
Okay, heel. So with Paul Skenes, talent-wise, and how he can go out there and dominate lineups, yeah, he can definitely be in consideration, but also, it's going to be dictated on how things are going. He hasn't even gone through a season yet so far. Like, it's impressive what he's been capable of doing here. But I think the bigger part is what's he going to do as these months go on? Because that's the biggest moment. Of course, at playing in college, I'm sure you guys have any of the college stats or him looking at with LSU, he can handle a big moment. But this is actually maybe the argument for me. I'm not going to say it's crap, because if he's firing on all cylinders and he's feeling good, yeah, a guy that has that stuff, I'd throw him out there for the game. But I'm more curious, who's in your guys' top 5? If you're to say a guy's going out there, because I'll tell you one for sure, it's on the Baltimore Orioles.
Yep.
He just threw last night. Last night, technically. Yeah. Corbin Burns. I think Burns is in that top 5, hands down. No doubt about it. Zach, you have anybody else you'd throw into that list?
Well, obviously, I know he's not having the greatest year by his standards, but a guy like Zach Gallen has just been so good over the recent 2-3 years. Obviously, Corbin Burns. If we're taking 5, and I will be biased here, I think in the conversation right now, especially what he has done over the last year and a half, you have to, I would argue Kyle Bradish is in there. Just strictly off of the way that he has performed in big games. I think he's earned the right. Do I think he's top 5? Probably not, but I think he has the potential and has put the resume together to have an argument to be up there.
Yeah, I think to me, Burns is in this conversation 1,000%. To me, I see Justin saying Screwball is also
he's on fire.
Yeah, so I think he's in there for me too. I mean, I think Skenes is. I'm gonna agree with you, Ryan. I don't think it's like totally crap, but like there are other players that I'm like you put in your top 5 and you'd roll that guy out for Game 7.
And I think here's another element of it too. There are just guys that have the biggest stones in the playoffs.
Yeah.
So like Aaron Nola on the Phillies.
Right.
I was going to say Zach Wheeler, but
Zach Wheeler on Zach Wheeler might be a better example of the past, but Aaron Nola, his numbers were pretty solid, but he was known for being a guy that could pitch in the postseason. Zach Wheeler, a guy that obviously has proven overall, but is a guy in the postseason. I think that's another factor. There's just guys that can handle that moment extremely well, and that's just a part of it. Go ahead.
And that's why I want to argue that Paul Skenes is in the top 5. And it's because, and I'm going to use, obviously, this is against college level talent. So this is not against the best of the best. But last year, we kind of got this, I would say the most hyped up pitching matchup in all of college baseball. Rhett Lauder versus Paul Skenes in the College World Series. Rhett Lauder was drafted in the first round by the Cincinnati Reds. You probably know him from his wild hair at Wake Forest. But Rhett Lauder and Paul Skenes went up against each other, and literally going into the game, everyone knew, okay, this is most likely going to be 2 shutouts. It's which pitcher can outlast the other. And that's exactly what happened, both through scoreless games. Rhett Lauder went 7 innings scoreless, 6 Ks, no earned runs. But LSU won because Paul Skenes gave them 8 innings, 9 strikeouts, no earned runs. And when the moment was biggest, Paul Skenes stepped up there against one of the best teams in the nation and shut them down against his, I guess, the counterpart, who was the second best pitcher in the nation last year. So big moment. Paul Skenes has proven, to me at least, he deserves to be in this conversation.
I think
it's crap.
It's crap.
It's crap.
Would you like to elaborate?
Here's why.
Okay.
It's too early to call. It's too early to call. I can change my opinion. This opinion is fluid because it is too early. It's crap because there is so many other good pitchers out there that I would make the argument I would much rather have in a World Series, let alone Game 7. We haven't even talked about Seth Lugo other than the fact that he plays for the Kansas City Royals earlier in the show. Leads the league in just about everything. His ERA is 1.72 and 78 innings this year. He's had 12 starts, 9-1. Batting average against is 211. This guy's going in the World Series hands down, without question. And then, honestly, who the other guy that I would probably put in there has got tons of experience right now that has actually kind of had a bit of a revival is Chris Sale.
Yeah,
Chris Sale's had ERA at 2.12, 8-1 this year. I mean, he's lights out. The batting average against is 193. So, look, I mean, Paul Skenes, a phenom. I think that he's going to be something special. But to sit here and be like, yeah, I'm going to trust him in Game 7. If Game 7 was happening tomorrow, there's a flurry of pitchers I'd probably rather have in there right now over Paul Skenes if it was tomorrow. But it's a long season. I could change my opinion later on down the road.
And so this is where this is like, and maybe it's not even like the fact or crap. It could be whatever, but it's really just, it's objective here.
Yeah.
Because we're talking about, it's actually how you want to objectify it, not you, Brad, but anyone in general here. Is it, you're talking about right at this moment, or are you talking about who you want in the moment? Because like Game 7, like Justin Verlander is a guy that still can pitch in big moments. Max Scherzer.
Jason, I know you can't see this on the phone. Jason just brought up a healthy Tyler Glasnow, and I agree.
A healthy Tyler Glass, like guys like this where you're like, damn, but it's not necessarily what they're doing at this moment. It's just like, who's got the stones to pitch in the biggest moments here, Kev? And that's really where it all comes down to. You know, I'd probably throw in Ubaldo Jimenez in there as well, just to make sure everyone. I was going to see if Kevin was paying attention.
What you want to bring up all these bad memories for O's fans, right? You want to go down that path? That's a bold
all bad memories for O's fans. Well, look, hey, it's one moment. It wasn't pretty. I'll still one of the top moments for O's fans that was brutal was the Jeffrey Mayer situation in New York with the Yanks. I think that's still number one. But my point being, jokes aside, it's what do you think it is? Is it the guys that are pitching well right now this year, or is it the workhorses that you've seen in the past?
I like what Brian just brought up, and I want to get your opinion on this because it goes with that kind of what you're saying, Ryan, of is it like the biggest postseason performance? Because if it's biggest postseason performer, it's hard not to pick Nathan Eovaldi.
Eovaldi shines in the postseason.
Like if you want a guy 2 times, he has been the dog in a World Series winning team. Just he goes out there, and when the lights are the brightest, Nathan Eovaldi's going to go get you a win.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, and that's where it is. You can say, hey, guys are having great seasons. Lugo's having a great season. But again, when the moment's later in the season and the pressure's on, the stress is there, and they need you, who do you really want? And that thing is, Lugo's pitching great. Would you take Lugo over Eovaldi?
Lugo has never started in the playoffs. So, he's pitched 2 innings, which is weird. He's had 3 appearances, 2 innings pitched.
Yeah, and like so that's
it's going to be a Cy Young winner this year. It's his award to lose.
And it may very well me, but Scooball, maybe Corbin Burns continues to remind people he's pretty damn good. But like it's a long way to go. But this is the beauty of it. But the reason why we started Factor Crap here is to just we put it out there more. It's like, hey, to say top 5 that he's going in there. Passan said in the conversation. And I think that is the fair thing to put.
Mm-hmm.
He should be in the conversation,
Sure, yeah.
but it's dictated about for Skenes what's going on with the team. Also, Jared Jones for them is a dog. That dude is nasty. That's for a different point. It just depends on what you need and what you think your team needs in the moment. Because you could argue last year with the Orioles, Kyle Gibson might have been a guy that needed to get the ball to start a game just because of experience.
Sure. Yeah.
So everything, there's always perspective here, Kev. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
You get it?
I do.
Is that seat too high for you, buddy?
No, I'm
Too low.
Actually, okay, this is not what we are talking about, but I just checked the AL Cy Young odds. Seth Lugo is 6th, and he's plus 1,500.
Who's ahead of him?
Tariq
I take that bet all day long.
Yeah, that's kind of. I would think he's.
Yeah.
Tariq Schoolball is plus 200. Corbin Burns plus 460. Luis Castillo plus 1,200. And then Cole Reagans, Tanner Houck, and Seth Lugo all are plus 1,500. That's I thought for sure Lugo would be higher.
I would be putting money on Lugo right
1000%.
now. At plus 1,500, that is nuts.
Yeah.
Unreal.
Oh, I'm actually going to make that bet, actually.
Yeah, I would.
I'm looking. I think I'm going to.
I think you should. That's crazy money right there.